I honestly think I just seen the most beautiful movie of 2025. Train Dreams just dropped on Netflix. Much to my despair, I couldn't watch it in the theatre. It was limited release and wasn't really in any theatres nearby. I don't even know if it was in any theatres. I've had a few people have been able to see it, but I think for the most part it was just on Netflix. It came out just a couple of days ago, just over the weekend, and honestly, you have to see this film. You have to see this film. Now, first of all, there's not going to be any conversation about spoilers or anything like really deep rooted in the actual plot or anything like that. It's really just going to be about the way that this looks, to be honest. And, you know, I'll highlight a couple of performances, but really it's just the way that this film actually physically looked. That's it. You know, that's the overline. My review for this is that it just looked fantastic. And I truly do believe this is the best that a film's looked this year. Now, I didn't really know anything about it. I just heard about it through festival season. People were kind of enjoying this film, and people were saying like, "Oh, this is a film to watch this year." And you know, I had it on the list for a little while. I had no idea what it was about. No idea really what, you know, who was going to be appearing in it, other than that Joel Edgerton was in it. That's the only person that I knew was actually in it. Felicity Jones, you know, stars opposite him in this film as well. It's directed by Clint Bentley, who co-wrote Sing Sing, so it gives you a kind of idea of who he is. From the opening shot, I was awestruck. It's not a film that's grandiose and, you know, huge in scale and has these massive set pieces. It doesn't have all that, but it's just the way that it really immerses you, that it makes you feel that this world is lived in, that you are part of the story as you kind of follow the life of Joel Edgerton's character. And like I say, I'm not going to go into too much depth because I feel like it's better served if you don't know as much about it. I think that if you just kind of go in just knowing roughly kind of what it's about is fine. I don't think you need to know a crazy amount about this film, but I do recommend to see it. I think for me personally, it's probably top 5 of the year, and I've seen like 150 movies or something this year, something crazy like that. I've seen, you know, your One Battle After Others, your Begonias, all these, pretty much everything you can think of, bar the ones that are kind of still to come, and of course I don't have access to festivals, so any ones that have been shown already, I haven't seen those. But like overall, just really phenomenal to look at, and I love the performances. I love the characters who kind of pop up, the people who kind of float into this movie that you're not quite expecting to see in that capacity. They were really, really good. I cannot harp on enough about how this looks. When I say most beautiful, I think that there's a core kind of storyline that you can kind of latch onto and be attached to and think that that's beautiful in itself, and I think that there's conversation for that to be at the top of this year. There are a few films that have kind of also made me cry a fair bit, but this film, and when I say beautiful, it's just the way that it looks. From the forests, the rivers, the animals, the interactions, everything that's kind of caught in this. The use of shadows, the use of lower lighting is the best I've seen in a long time. Some of the, you know, there's some scenes where there's just candlelight or there's just a fire or something like that, and it feels so lived in, it feels so real, and it feels so raw.